Here's the end of the Virginia Trail, I think it is, near Baumgartner, along the South Fork of the Boise River. Check out this bridge up here. Now, these trails get real gnarly real fast. But if you knew your trails, you could probably pick some out to ride on the CB500X here. Look at this bridge. There's the river. The Fairfield District. Great trail system here in Idaho. Hey, I'm here in Featherville, Idaho with an update at the intersection of the Pine Featherville Road and Trinity Creek. Up Trinity Creek Road is where the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route goes. Here on the Featherville Road, I said yesterday that this road goes all the way over to Sun Valley and Ketchum as part of the new 2015 Transamerica Trail routing. Well, just 2 weeks ago, after I know Jenny Morgan got through here successfully, just 2 weeks ago, the road got washed out for a second time here this year. Of course, the big couple of years ago, this place is constantly under attack by forest fire, and a couple of years ago, big forest fire around here, well, it's caused some erosion, and it washed out again. So the Boise River has washed out the road about 5 miles beyond Baumgartner, and you can't get through. So you'll have to reroute your Transamerica Trail, and it'll probably be a long time before they fix that road. And of course, the road's paved from Featherville all the way down into Mountain Home to the south there. By the way, the pavement ends here at Featherville, dirt road, the rest of the way to Sun Valley, but it is at present time washed out and impassable. Big Trinity Lake down in this bowl, and there's Trinity Lookout right up there. Go check it. Let's go check it out. Another highlight on the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route. Nice. Looks like $10 to camp out here. Trinity Lake, just up above Featherville, 20 miles or so, at about the 8,000 foot elevation. $10 campsites are available in a couple of locations around the lake. And right up there is Trinity Lookout, up over 9,000 feet. One of the highest places you can ride to or drive to on the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route. So Trinity Lake would be a good place for a high altitude camping spot on your Idaho Backcountry Discovery route if you're looking, if you should be here, you know, at about bedtime. If the weather's cold out, it's going to be really cool up here. But if it's really hot out, this would be a nice place to stay. Trinity Lake, Idaho. All right, here it is, the road to the Trinity Mountain Lookout. That don't look bad at all. That looks nice. Might get a little steep right up there. Let's check it out. Ah, it does look a little bit steep. Look at this, ATVs and motorcycles accepted. You can go up there. I think I'll lighten my load a little bit. Yeah, motorcycles approved. Very cool. Here, take a bunch of this off. We're going to turn around and be right back here before we tackle that. Tighten all this up. Look at that down there. Let's look back towards Mountain Home in Boise. Look at those lakes down there. tire pressure a little bit. First gear. No bailing out. Start spinning too much. I'm spinning. Over that clutch. There. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice little saddle right here. There's a lookout up there. Oh, that's up there. Back down the lakes, Trinity Lakes area. I think that's Trinity Lake right down there. And the Sawtooth Mountains. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Top of the world. It's like a little Jeep, the Honda CB500X rally raid conversion. Yeah, good tricky part. Down there, look at those switchbacks. Oh, that's terracing, huh? I'll switch back for you. Another switchback. End of the road. That's the lookout's truck right there. There it is. All right, not bad. Ladybugs. It's a ladybug out hatching. Check in with the lookout. Yeah, we got man-eating ladybugs hatching out all over. These folks came up on their ATVs. 9,500 feet, Trinity lookout. Let's see what he's got here. Not for public use, thank you, U.S. Forest Service. There's a lonesome privy. Nice view, though. Yeah, you can open up the door. Ladybugs everywhere. There's the Trinity Lakes Basin area. It's like a glacial valley. Not unlike the Gold Lakes area back home. Welcome to Trinity Mountain Lookout, 9,500 feet, just above Featherville and Pine, Idaho. Rainbow Lakes Basin is down there. The Trinity Lake we were just at is back over that ridge. Sawtooth Mountains way out there. What do you call those? White Cloud Mountains? White Cloud. You can actually see from here, yeah. Looking kind of to the north and a little bit east.
If you look over that far ridge out there, see those peaks sticking up?
Yeah.
That's Mount Bora.
Mount Bora way out there by, that's the tallest part of Idaho out there.
12.5.
12.5. Mackay, Idaho. Yeah, that's right.
That's 100 air miles.
100 miles away we're looking at. And then over here is looking back down towards Mountain Home, Boise, Anderson Ranch Reservoir and all that. So pretty easy cruise up the rocky steep road up to the lookout here. Well worth checking out. One of the few highest points you can actually drive to here in Idaho, and one of 8 manned lookouts looking at a sawtooth right over there.
That's steel. The sawtooth behind it.
So Redfish Lake and all that is on the other side.
That way. That's the White Clouds, the big one you see.
That's White Cloud Mountain right there, huh? Big Boulder,
Yeah.
Big Boulder Trail and all that's over there. That's a great part of the tour of Idaho. Dirt bike ride. Okay. What about Atlanta?
Atlanta's over that big ridge.
So you got to work your way back over that ridge.
Go back down by the T where you came up.
Yeah. This forest fire activity we're looking at here threatened Featherville and Pine and way over here. This all happened just recently, 2012 and 2013. Lost millions of acres, I'd guess, of this forest up here. I mean, some of it's still intact, but
300, almost 400,000 acres total.
400,000 acres total on those 2 years of fire, 12 and 13. Back down the mountain we go. Alan, the lookout, says this is the steepest maintained road in Idaho. It ain't very well maintained, but it is. But I know there's a lot more steeper roads and trails in Idaho than this. Piece of cake for the little Honda. Now on your Butler maps, he shows this as steep and for experienced riders only, which is good to cover his liability there. But it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Especially if you're on a smaller bike. Again, on these downhills, pinch the tank with your knees. Take the load off of your arms. Welcome to Rocky Bar, Idaho. This here established 1863. This was a big-time gold dredging operation as they dredged out the creek here, which was a real popular mining technique here in Idaho. All these creeks got dredged out with big-time mining dredges, like you see in the Yuba gold fields back home. There's some more of Rocky Bar. Gotta look and see, remember where I am. And some new buildings. And I've basically gone nowhere today. I'm 8 miles back from where I started after doing the Trinity Lakes, Trinity Lookout loop. I want to get over to Atlanta, and I ended up right back where I started 40 miles later. But I hear there's a hamburger in Atlanta. That way, 16 miles. And it's supposed to be another neat gold rush town in the backcountry of Idaho. Just coming into Atlanta, Idaho. But man, the terrain coming into here, coming down into this holler, I mean, look at that. It's just straight up, both on the left and on the right. Can you see that up there? Oh yeah, look at that, way up there. Just the most rugged terrain imaginable. End of this road is Atlanta, and then that's it. That's the end of the road. It dies off into wilderness after that, the east of Atlanta. Now here it's pretty well preserved gold rush town. Just following the creek on in. Rocks. Welcome to Atlanta. That Jack Creek Road dove into this big old Middle Creek gravel freeway. So it went from a real go road to a freeway. It should be Atlanta, yeah. Look at the wilderness mountains behind there. Look at that. That's the middle fork of the Boise River, I believe. Now we're home in the Sawtooths. Yep, there they are right there. 1864 says Middle Fork River, gateway to the wilderness area. Neat. Well, Main Street. Here we go. Will be the beer place out. RC Cola and a moon pie. Did you find it yet?
Not yet. Soon though. How you doing?
Good. What you looking for? Something metal?
Phone line.
Phone line. Oh, okay. Nothing cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's closed. Let's see. Is anything open here today?
Not today.
Uh-oh.
Russ will be open maybe. He's
Down
supposed
there?
to be in by 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know what time it is, but by 5.
Okay, well, we'll take a look about then.
All right.
Thanks. Welcome to Atlanta, Idaho, that is. The end of the road up against the Sawtooth Wilderness, right over there. Another neat living gold rush town. A lot of neat old cabins in here. A couple businesses. You can usually get a beer and a hamburger, but not today. So Snicker bar and water for now. And a good long ride back towards, we'll work our way towards Loman. But what a neat access point for the backside of the Sawtooth Wilderness. Atlanta, Idaho. Here's the airstrip in Atlanta, Idaho. Definitely a one-way in. Uphill going that way and dead end into those trees. And there's the Sawtooth right there. And then you turn around and take off that way. I'm standing on the end of the runway, and you blast off over town and hope to clear them trees and hook it around down the Boise River. And it's definitely grass and dirt. It'd be a bumpy one. It looks like you'd be landing with a little bit of a tailwind here during the day. Sporty. today, another hot spring. Welcome to Kirkham Hot Springs, just outside of Loman, Idaho, upstream on the South Fork of the Payette River, about 2 miles. Now, I never knew much about this hot spring because it wasn't on my map until the locals told me about it. Let me go show you around a little bit. It's real easy to get to. It's right off the highway. The highway is right across the river over there. Our meager camp setup. Here it comes boiling right out of the side of the base of the mountain into 2 big pools here, but there's a lot more to this than just this. But let's check this out. Spent a great soak in here last night viewing the stars, moonless night, shallow but pretty warm. I wish I had a thermometer, but not too hot, but pretty darn warm hot spring coming out of the mountain here. And then it drains down this way, and where do you see what's down here? And flowing into the South Fork of the Payette River, Payette River, good fishing in here too, are these natural hot springs. This is where you go to take your morning shower. Look at that. This is one of the prettiest natural hot springs in all of Idaho. Cascading waterfall into the river. Home of the endangered bull trout. South Fork of the Payette. Kirkham Hot Springs, Idaho. I can't say it. Miksovsky. Hey, look who I found in the middle of Idaho here. Chris Miksovsky of Human Gear Engineering, one of my most ardent YouTube fans. Let's get this in the background.
Oh, nice.
Chris here has been watching a bunch of my YouTube videos on the KTM 350 EXCF. Yes. And that's what he's got over there today. He saw the videos on how to build it, and then on the tour of Idaho, which I did just last year. And now, Chris, you're out here doing it,
I'm out here doing it. Well, not quite the tour of Idaho, but I'm doing these grit rides on the Idaho. And yeah, so I blame it all on Juan. I blame all of this on Juan.
And so, speaking of, this is what I want. I want you guys to just take these adventures and create your own adventures. And of course, for all those folks that are physically incapable of adventuring, just to enjoy it. But what else? What happened to you out there in the field?
Oh yeah, I got stuck out. I got stuck out at night. I went over a pass and I had to come out, and there were some steep sections I just couldn't get out, and I ran out of daylight, and so I had to camp out in an e-blanket and eating a Cliff Bar for dinner, and then the next morning I got my folding saw out and had to saw my way out of there, cut a few trees down and stuff. So definitely an adventure. Yeah. And
this is gnarly single track riding. He's doing it on the 350F. He doesn't have all this luxury camping equipment like I have. You have just an emergency blanket and your riding gear.
Riding gear, e-blanket, a little first aid kit.
Enough stuff to change a tire too, I suppose.
Yeah, cut some tools. Yeah. And folding saw, and yeah, that's about it.
Miles and miles of single track trail. There's some great riding around here, but you got to be prepared, and that's one of the things you got to be prepared for, is spending an emergency night out in the wilderness. And you did it.
I did it. Yeah, I made it through.
First.
So now it's all a fun memory, but a couple nights ago it wasn't so fun.
So that's the dangers of watching Juan Brown Presents, is you too might be inspired to do something silly like this.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Suck you in.
Yeah. It all looks great on camera and on a flat flat map, but until you come out and see it.
No, it's fun. It's really fun. It's definitely an adventure. Yeah.
Well, it was a happenstance that we met up. Let's go have breakfast, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Thanks,
cheers.
Chris.
Yeah, all right.
What?
This is Marla at Haven Hot Springs, and this is the place you want to come to in Loman, Idaho, because she's going to take great care of you. Right there is the finest import beer selection in all of Idaho. She's got the hot meals, the food, the cabins are what, $90 a night or so?
95, yeah.
$95 a night, and gas, the only gas in town, right?
Well, the only non-ethanol anyway.
There you go, non-ethanol gas. Good point. Thanks, Marla. Thanks for taking care of everybody out here in Idaho.
My pleasure.
All right. Haven Hot Springs, Loman, Idaho. Check it out. I'm here at the Bonneville Hot Springs campground, about 15 miles upstream from Loman on the highway between Loman and Stanley. Nice, shady camping spots in the timber here at Bonneville. Right on the upper South Fork of the Payette River, not Payette, Payette River. And the hot spring is just a short hike over here. Let's go check it out. 15 and 5. That way. You can kind of start to see the water steam rising up over there. Maybe a quarter-mile hike. Real easy. Beautiful country. Here it begins gurgling out of the mountain here and over there, and even some down below. And this is stinking, piping hot water here. We run it through this little shed. Everybody's in there now. Inside the shed here. So as I was saying, here in the tub, the water is just perfect. But out here, that water is stinking way too hot. Blazing right out of the side of the mountain. Now let's go check out and see what it's like down here by the river. Look at that steam this morning. Small waterfalls. And this is where it's fun to bring the whole family down to Bonneville Hot Springs. When you get down here by the river, I'll show you what I mean. Starting from up here all the way down to the river, you can start building your own pools and create your own temperature that you want, which is great for kids too. You can make little kiddie pools and cool it off to the perfect temperature for the kids. Don't litter. Even more hot water coming out of the ground here. And there's the South Fork of the Payette River. And there's where you can form your own pools and really draw in the cold water from the river and bring it into here. And adjust the temperature to however you like. Bonneville Hot Springs, South Fork of the Payette River, Idaho. 15 miles out of Loman on the way to Stanley. Check it out.